Lita, I am officially never leaving my apartment ever again. I am going to buy a small private helicopter, or I am just going to ride a slow, quiet horse to the corporate office.
A slow horse to the modern office? Oh my goodness, Sam. Did your old silver car completely break down on the busy highway again? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another incredibly fast, loud, and crazy episode of the English Unscripted podcast. I am Lita.
And I'm Sam. And today, guys, we are talking about the absolute daily nightmare of human transportation, terrible traffic jams, and the physical torture of taking the crowded public bus.
Exactly. Moving our tired human bodies from one place to another is incredibly exhausting. We're dividing this moving journey into 3 exciting chapters today. First, we will talk about the absolute chaos and the terrible smells of public buses. Then, in Chapter 2, we dive into the massive stress of driving a car in angry traffic. And finally, Chapter 3 is all about the crazy, beautiful future of flying cars and instant teleportation.
3 chapters of pure travel therapy. But wait, Lita, before I tell you how I was completely crushed like a tiny, sad pancake on the city bus this morning, we have a very important musical mission for our amazing listeners today.
Oh yes, challenge time! What is the big creative strategy for our language learners today, Sam?
Listeners, if you truly want to master this beautiful language, you cannot just listen to us one single time. You have to treat this podcast episode exactly like your absolute favorite catchy pop song on the radio.
A catchy pop song. I absolutely love singing loud in the car, Sam. How does the song method actually work for our students' brains?
Well, the first time you play the track, you're just dancing to the fun rhythm. You listen to my terrible bus story, you smile, and you just enjoy the happy melody. But the second time, you download the official lyrics. You pause the music, you look at the heavy B2 vocabulary words, and you sing them out loud until you completely lose your voice.
Yes, sing the heavy vocabulary out loud, guys. Be a confident pop star. So, Sam, please tell me about your terrible pancake experience. Did you ride the public bus wearing your bright yellow banana jacket?
I absolutely did, Lita. My old silver car is broken at the mechanic's shop, so I had to take the busy morning bus to see the strict, bald manager. I stepped onto the huge metal bus, and it was so incredibly full of angry, sleepy people. There was absolutely zero fresh oxygen left in the air.
Oh no, the crowded morning bus is pure physical torture, Sam. Everyone is standing super close together, drinking hot coffee and breathing right into your personal face.
Exactly. I was squeezed so tightly between the dirty glass window and a very tall, angry man who was eating a terrible, smelly egg sandwich. The warm sandwich honestly smelled exactly like my cursed sweet garlic mushroom soup.
The garlic soup ghost is completely following you everywhere, Sam. That sounds like an absolute nightmare. You're trapped in a small, moving metal box with a terrible smell and 50 angry strangers. That is exactly why the daily trip to work is so physically exhausting.
Wait, Lita, let us pause your smelly metal box description for a second. I think that is a fantastic, highly essential vocabulary word for our listeners to deeply understand today. Commute.
Yes, commute. It's a very common noun and also a verb that describes the regular daily journey you make to travel between your warm home and your actual workplace or school, like riding a terrible, crowded bus every single morning.
Listeners, please practice this essential B2 level word and say it with us right now.
Say it loud and clear in your room, guys. Survive the morning trip.
Commute.
Commute. A terrible morning commute completely destroys your energy before you even start working, Sam. And that actually makes me very curious about our hardworking listeners.
Oh, absolutely. Listeners, we have our first very crowded, sweaty question for you right now. What is the absolute worst, longest, or most crazy daily commute you had ever experienced in your life? Do you take a crowded train, or do you sit in angry car traffic for 2 solid hours?
Tell us your terrible travel stories in the comments down below. We desperately need to know if anyone else is smelling garlic soup on the public bus. So Sam, did the crowded bus actually move fast, or were you just completely stuck in traffic?
It was moving so incredibly fast, Lita. The driver thought he was flying a completely empty rocket ship. He was speeding down the busy street, and then a tiny, slow pigeon decided to walk right in front of the giant metal bus. The driver hit the loud brakes so incredibly hard. Screech!
Oh my goodness. Sudden heavy brakes on a completely crowded public bus? The laws of physics are absolutely cruel, Sam. Did you fly completely across the bus in your bright yellow banana jacket?
I absolutely flew, Lita. I completely lost my balance, my feet left the dirty floor, and my hand accidentally smashed right into the tall, angry man's terrible, smelly egg sandwich. The warm egg exploded everywhere, on my hands, on my yellow sleeve, on the clear glass window.
The terrible flying egg explosion is exactly like the cursed sweet garlic soup disaster, but on a fast-moving vehicle. The tall man must have been completely furious with you, Sam.
He was so angry, Lita. He looked at my bright yellow jacket, he looked at his completely destroyed breakfast, and his face turned bright red. I completely panicked. I pushed the back doors open and I yelled at the absolute top of my lungs, "I need to get out of this terrible bus right now."
Wait a minute, guys. Listeners, I have a fantastic native secret for you right here. Did you hear how Sam just pronounced the words out of? He separated them completely and yelled them exactly like a slow, robotic dictionary.
Wait, did I fail at emergency escape pronunciation too, Lita? I thought out of was perfect for a grammar test when a flying egg is panicking.
It is absolutely perfect for a high school grammar test, Sam. But when native speakers are talking very fast, or when we're desperately running away from an angry sandwich man, we almost never say out of. We smash the two words together and just say outa. Outa.
Oh, wow. Outa. I need to get out of here. Get out of this bus. That sounds so much faster and completely natural, Lita. It really gives you that quick, desperate energy to escape the terrible smell.
Exactly. Try using outa when you're talking quickly with your friends or trying to leave a busy place, guys. It's a brilliant secret trick to make your casual spoken English sound incredibly fast and wonderfully fluent. So, Sam, did the actual crowded bus move fast, or were you just completely stuck in traffic?
It was moving so incredibly fast, Lita. The driver thought he was flying a completely empty rocket ship. He was speeding down the busy street, and then a tiny, slow pigeon decided to walk right in front of the giant metal bus. The driver hit the loud brakes so incredibly hard. Screech!
Oh my goodness. Sudden heavy brakes on a completely crowded public bus? The laws of physics are absolutely cruel, Sam. Did you fly completely across the bus in your bright yellow banana jacket?
I absolutely flew, Lita. I completely lost my balance, my feet left the dirty floor, and my hand accidentally smashed right into the tall, angry man's terrible, smelly egg sandwich. The warm egg exploded everywhere, on my hands, on my yellow sleeve, on the clear glass window.
The terrible flying egg explosion is exactly like the cursed sweet garlic soup disaster, but on a fast-moving vehicle. The tall man must have been completely furious with you, Sam.
He was so angry, Lita. He looked at my bright yellow jacket, he looked at his completely destroyed breakfast, and his face turned bright red. I completely panicked. I pushed the back doors open and I yelled at the absolute top of my lungs, "I need to get out of this terrible bus right now."
Wait a minute, guys. Listeners, I have a fantastic native secret for you right here. Did you hear how Sam just pronounced the words out of? He separated them completely and yelled them exactly like a slow, robotic dictionary.
Wait, did I fail at emergency escape pronunciation too, Lita? I thought out of was perfect for a grammar test when a flying egg is panicking.
It is absolutely perfect for a high school grammar test, Sam. But when native speakers are talking very fast, or when we're desperately running away from an angry sandwich man, we almost never say out of. We smash the two words together and just say outa. Outa.
Oh, wow, outa. I need to get out of here. Get out of this bus. That sounds so much faster and completely natural, Ida. It really gives you that quick, desperate energy to escape the terrible smell.
Exactly. Try using outa when you are talking quickly with your friends or trying to leave a busy place, guys. It is a brilliant secret trick to make your casual spoken English sound incredibly fast and wonderfully fluent. So, Sam, did you actually get outa the crowded bus alive, or did the angry man capture you?
I jumped straight out of the back doors into the cold street, Lita. I had to walk 3 entire miles to the corporate office smelling exactly like an old cooked egg. When the bald manager saw me, he just slowly shook his head and closed his glass office door.
The bald manager is completely exhausted by your daily existence, Sam. But honestly, taking the fast bus is a massive gamble. You think you are saving the planet, but you just end up covered in someone else's breakfast. And the absolute worst part is, driving your own private car is actually not much better. You are just completely trapped in a smaller, quieter metal box, staring at red lights for 3 solid hours. Which brings us perfectly to Chapter 2 of our moving journey today. Listeners, put your imaginary seatbelts on and honk your loud horns because we are going to dive into the massive, terrible stress of city driving and how traffic jams completely destroy our human happiness.
Saint Lita, you are absolutely right. The private metal box is not a beautiful, quiet escape at all. It is just a tiny, incredibly expensive prison on 4 rubber wheels. When I finally got my old silver car back from the mechanic yesterday,
Oh, congratulations, Sam. You survived the terrible egg explosion on the bus. Did you enjoy a peaceful, quiet morning drive to the corporate office with a nice hot cup of coffee?
peaceful? Lita, I drove directly onto the giant city highway and the morning traffic was completely 100% stopped. It was not moving a single inch. I was staring directly at the back of a massive truck filled with heavy red bricks, which honestly reminded me of my terrible heavy black brick bread.
The universe is constantly reminding you of your terrible cooking, Sam. A giant truck full of heavy red bricks?
Exactly. I sat there listening to the exact same 3 annoying pop songs on the car radio, just staring at the heavy bricks. I was so incredibly angry. I was trapped in my old silver car since 3 entire hours, Lita.
Wait, Sam. You were trapped since 3 hours. The strict English grammar police are giving you a massive traffic ticket right now. We use since for a specific starting point in time, like since Monday or since 8 o'clock in the morning. But for a long length of time, we absolutely have to use for. You were trapped for 3 hours. For 3 hours.
Oh, right. Thank you, Officer Lita. I was trapped for 3 entire painful hours. My human brain was completely melting from the terrible exhaust smoke. The city highway was so completely full of thousands of angry, honking cars that there was absolutely zero space to move forward, backward, or sideways.
Wait, Sam, let us pause your terrible, melting traffic jam right there. I think that is a beautifully descriptive, highly frustrating vocabulary word for our listeners to deeply understand today. Congested.
Yes, congested is a highly formal, excellent adjective that describes a completely full of heavy traffic, blocked and entirely impossible to move through, like a giant city highway with 50,000 angry cars completely stuck together.
Listeners, please practice this essential B2 level word and say it with us right now.
Say it loud and clear in your room, guys. Honk your angry horns.
Congested.
Congested. The highway was incredibly congested, Lita. I honked my car horn exactly 42 times, and the strict bald manager called my phone 3 times to ask why I was late again. And that actually makes me very curious about our completely frustrated listeners.
Oh yes, listeners, we have our second, very loud, angry question for you today. What do you actually do inside your car when the road is completely, hopelessly congested? Do you sing pop songs very loudly? Do you listen to our English podcast? Or do you just yell at the steering wheel?
Tell us your absolute weirdest traffic habits in the comments down below. We desperately need to know how you survive the daily highway prison.
So, Lita, what is the actual scientific solution to this terrible heavy metal prison, Sam?
The absolute scientific solution to this terrible heavy metal prison, Sam, is actually very simple. You have to completely leave the heavy car at home, use your own 2 human legs, and buy a simple 2-wheeled bicycle.
A bicycle? Lita, I live exactly 12 miles away from the strict bald manager. If I ride a tiny, thin bicycle to the corporate office, I will arrive completely covered in human sweat. My bright yellow banana jacket will turn into a dark, wet, smelly sponge.
Oh, a wet yellow sponge. That is a terrible, highly unprofessional fashion disaster, Sam. But honestly, riding a bicycle or walking is incredibly good for your physical heart, and it completely saves the beautiful green planet from the terrible exhaust smoke of your old silver car.
It saves the green planet, yes, but it completely destroys my poor human legs. I actually tried walking to the local coffee shop last week, Lita. I was walking happily on the gray sidewalk, drinking my hot Americano, and a giant fast bus drove directly through a massive puddle of dirty brown water. Splash! Right all over my clean clothes.
Oh no, the terrible brown puddle. The physical world is incredibly dangerous when you're not hiding inside a safe metal box. But relying on our heavy cars for every single tiny trip is completely destroying our cities. We desperately need a much better, long-term system that does not involve angry drivers honking their horns for 3 entire hours.
Wait, Lita, let us pause your green planet speech for a second. I think that is an incredibly important, highly environmental vocabulary word for our listeners to deeply understand today. Sustainable.
Yes, sustainable. It is a highly intelligent, excellent B2 adjective that describes an action or a method that can continue for a very long time without completely destroying the natural environment. Like riding a quiet, clean bicycle instead of driving a heavy, smoking silver car.
Listeners, please practice this beautiful green vocabulary word and say it with us right now.
Say it loud and clear in your room, guys. Save the lovely trees.
Sustain a bull.
Sustainable. Walking and biking are incredibly sustainable, Sam, but they are very slow and sometimes very wet and muddy.
Exactly. I completely refuse to be a wet yellow sponge at the corporate office. The bald manager would laugh at me forever. I just want a magic digital button that instantly moves my physical body directly to my comfortable desk without any traffic.
A magic teleportation button. Well, since the crowded buses are full of flying egg sandwiches and the city highways are completely congested, maybe we actually do need a crazy science fiction miracle. Which brings us perfectly to the third and final chapter of our moving journey today. Listeners, look up at the bright blue sky and prepare your imaginary jetpacks, because we're going to explore the absolutely wild, incredible future of human transportation, and why 50 flying cars in the sky might actually be a terrible, terrifying disaster.
Lita, I completely refuse to wait 50 years for a slow green bicycle revolution. I want a shiny silver flying car right now, or I want a magic digital machine that can instantly move my physical body.
A magic digital machine. Oh my goodness, Sam. You mean you just step inside a dark glass tube in your bedroom, you press a bright green button, and boom, you are instantly sitting exactly at your corporate desk.
Exactly. 0 terrible flying egg sandwiches, 0 congested city highways, and absolutely 0 angry honking. I could wake up at 8:59 in the morning, put on my bright yellow banana jacket, press the magic button, and say good morning to the strict bald manager at exactly 9 o'clock.
That sounds absolutely incredible, Sam. But knowing your terrible, chaotic luck with machines, the complex digital tube would definitely break down. You would press the green button, and only half of your physical body would actually arrive at the office.
Oh no! My legs would be sitting properly at my comfortable desk, and my head would still be sleeping happily in my warm bed. The bald manager would be completely furious. He would yell at my empty yellow jacket to finish the boring financial tax reports.
Yelling at your invisible head. That is exactly why instant travel is incredibly dangerous, Sam. We are absolutely not ready for that kind of crazy scientific miracle.
Wait, Lita, let us pause your terrifying sci-fi disaster for a second. I think that is a wonderfully futuristic, highly essential vocabulary word for our listeners to deeply understand today. Teleport.
Yes, teleport. It is a fantastic verb that means to instantly transport a person or a physical object across a massive distance without actually traveling through the physical space between, like magically appearing at the corporate office in exactly 1 second.
Listeners, please practice this cool B2 level word and say it with us right now.
Say it loud and clear in your room, guys. Press the magic green button.
Port.
Teleport. If we could successfully teleport, Sam, we would completely destroy the entire stressful transportation industry. But honestly, I think I'm way too scared to use a magic glass tube. And that actually makes me very curious about our brave listeners.
Oh, absolutely. Listeners, we have our third and final, very futuristic question for you right now. If a magical teleportation machine was invented tomorrow morning, would you actually be brave enough to use it to travel to work? Or are you completely terrified of losing your arms and legs in the digital process?
Tell us your crazy sci-fi choices in the comments down below. We desperately need to know if anyone is brave enough to try it. So, Sam, if teleporting is way too dangerous for your physical body, what about buying an actual, real flying car?
I absolutely do not want a real flying car, Lita. People are completely terrible at driving on the flat, safe ground. They can't even stay inside the simple white painted lines on the road.
That is so incredibly true. People text on their bright phones and drink hot coffee while driving. Imagine them doing that 3,000 feet in the air.
It would be an absolute disaster. Some angry guy eating a terrible, smelly egg sandwich would drop his hot food, completely lose control of his flying metal box, and crash right through the roof of my small apartment. My beautiful yellow banana jacket would be entirely ruined by a flying car.
And the strict bald manager would probably buy a massive, angry black helicopter just to hover outside your bedroom window and scream about the corporate tax reports.
He absolutely would. The blue sky would be completely full of angry, honking cars, dropping terrible garbage everywhere, and honestly, it would be incredibly hard to find your way safely when there are absolutely zero street signs or red traffic lights in the empty clouds.
Wait, Sam, let us pause your terrifying sky disaster for a second. I think that is a highly important, very directional vocabulary word for our listeners to deeply understand today. Navigate.
Yes, navigate. It's an excellent verb that means to successfully find your way safely through a complicated or difficult place, or to plan and direct the exact route of a ship, a car, or even a flying metal box.
Listeners, please practice this essential directional word and say it with us right now.
Say it loud and clear in your room, guys. Look at the imaginary map.
Navigate.
Navigate. It's completely impossible to navigate a massive traffic jam in the sky, Lita. I think I will just accept my sad human destiny and ride the terribly congested, smelly public bus tomorrow morning.
That's probably the absolute safest, most boring choice for your fragile physical body, Sam. We just have to accept the slow, crowded journey. And speaking of long daily journeys...
Oh yes, it is officially time for our amazing listeners to make a very serious, long-term promise today. We want the ultimate English commitment.
Exactly. Whether you're walking through a dirty brown puddle, riding a crowded train, or sitting in a terribly congested city highway, we want you to deeply commit to practicing your English with us during your daily commute.
Turn your terrible, smelly daily commute into a beautiful, highly productive classroom, guys. And to make that official promise, you need to hit that shiny subscribe button right down below.
Hitting subscribe is your legal digital signature on the English Unscripted contract. It proves that you are completely committed to successfully navigating this heavy language journey with us. Thank you so much for traveling with us today. Drive safely, avoid the flying egg sandwiches, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone. Watch out for the angry green aliens on the bus.